questions to ask throughout a campaign with the confidence rising. I told JC, Nate and Rich that good times are coming, no need for deep diving. Fan Cam's reactions, watch along to the pride of London thriving. The Eagles of South stay flying, keep your eyes on us, we ain't hiding.
Well, it's looking like deadline day, less than an hour to go, and no signings are happening so far, but every other person seems to be doing a lot of business. So we'll hit some comments first. Nikki, how you doing? Get the popcorn ready, because this is going to be dead. Let us know your thoughts on the CPFC's window activity, if you're a Palace fan or not. We'll go through every team. We'll give a rating of their transfer window, and we'll see what happens. We'll do what we do best. Big up Jay, not signing anyone here. And apparently Nate's emoji is looking like Dennis the Menace. Well, I've put the StreamYard link in here. So if you guys want to join, come through. I've got the Sky Sports thing live on one of my ears, so I can hear that. And there's news flying here, there, and everywhere, but it's nothing about Palace, so I can turn that right down. There we go. Forest just signed their 75th player. Oh man, they're when they're warming up for their next home game, it's going to look like a pitch invasion with all the kind of players that they've got over there and his character. Well, we'll start off. I'll pitch this to you guys first of all. Do you think we peaked when we signed Czech Decore? Because I think that we were so gassed to get him. He was the one and only target. We got our guy, and then it just went very quiet after that. I don't think that we did much else, really. It's a bit depressing when you see the ambitions that we have, that what Textor wants to do with us, and some of the players which we were linked with as well. Go enjoy your evening. We're not signing anyone. Listen, even if I'm enjoying myself, I'm here to enjoy it with you guys. I saw Tristan hop in here quickly, but he's gone again. So we'll keep it moving. So up here, I have got a share screen. So I'll share this with you guys. So I'm going to go through the transfers. This isn't absolutely up to date as we're speaking currently, because Forest have just signed Aurier and a right back and Michi Batshuayi and all these man, and it's a bit mad. So we'll go through these teams and we'll give them a rating out of 10. So Bournemouth first. Ryan Fredericks in, Joe Rothwell, Marcus Travania, Neto from Barcelona, Sensei, and Stevens has come in for Bournemouth, and they've let go a hell of a lot of players, boy. A lot of players, some people that helped them get up into the Premier League again, such as Gary Cahill, who was once with us. And yeah, I don't see that they backed Scott Parker enough in the window, as he said himself, and that's really the reason why he got sacked. But I think I can't give them any more than a 5 out of 10. These players, some of the players are good, other players I've never heard of before, so I can't really give my thoughts on them. But Nate, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all good, mate. All good. Just for most people, it's transfer deadline day. But for Crystal Palace fans, it's just Thursday.
It's just Thursday. It's just Thursday and vibes. That's all it is.
Isn't it?
Luke, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
We're all good. We're just chilling right now because there's no news to be reported on apart from a little Fabrizio bomb earlier. But I don't think any of it's happening, if I'm really honest.
Nah, I think we've all been refreshing Twitter pages all day.
Well, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. because
Yeah.
we all want something to happen, but it's just looking more and more unlikely that anything's going to happen at this point.
I knew we was doing nothing ages ago. That's why I haven't said anything on Twitter today. I'm just like, it is what it is.
We just need to. It's the final hour, so who knows? But nothing will happen, I don't think.
I think we've got a good enough squad. People are going mad over nothing. Like, let's be real. Like, if we sign someone now, the same people that are crying for signing will say, "Oh, it's a panic buy." So I'm not taking anything people are saying on Twitter serious today. It's just, no, listen, just keep it moving, people.
We've got Decore. Let's see how he pans out. He's still got a whole 30 plus games to still play for us. Do you know what I mean? So, and we've still got.
It's been class for us so far. So to me, it's just money well spent right at the moment.
We haven't seen the best of Chris Richards. We're yet to really see Malcolm play in the flesh. Yet to see Sam Johnston. We're looking at the likes of Caden Rodney to come up through the academy. You'd swear to God, like, we haven't signed anyone. I get it. Yeah, people expect us to make bare signings like Forest and that. But if we do that, don't we breach FFP or some shit like that? No, I'm not interested in any of this kind of, oh, we're not signing anyone, we're getting relegated business. Shut up, man.
Big up, Dan. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. How is everyone? All good?
Yeah.
Yes,
Good.
mate. You good?
All good so far.
Yeah.
Good. I wanted to say that, Nate, I totally agree with you. I think the problem was that we had such a good window last year. Don't get me wrong, like there's holes that definitely need to be filled, and I think like had we filled those holes, yeah, we could be looking at like a much higher finish. But I mean, the way I've seen some people go on Twitter, like it's like we're going to get relegated or something.
That's why I've been avoiding Twitter like the plague. I just know these people are not serious.
Mate, honestly, I logged onto Twitter for the first time today about 9:30 a.m. and Jesus, people were already getting upset. At 9:30 in the morning, like they literally woke up, ate their cereal, and just got angry.
Well,
and like I feel like this window as well. I don't know if like people are more frustrated because of the way it's kind of panned out, in the sense of like we're getting linked to all these players, but it's like, well, why weren't we linked with these players like a week, 2 weeks ago? Do you know what I mean? I guess that's probably another frustration that people have, is like the timing of stuff. Like it's just like how it used to be when we was under Roy, and I think everyone's gotten their hopes up a lot after the last window, or the last summer window anyway.
Yeah. I think one of the main frustrations for me personally, I'm not saying this window's a write-off. I think we strengthened where we needed to strengthen, but I do kind of get it where we haven't. I don't think we've improved certain places in the team, but we have let a lot of people go again, because we had another one of those seasons where we just a load of people ran out of contract. So, for example, we got Luca and Decore in that midfield. Let's say Decore gets injured. It would have been Luca or Kouyaté, and you would have picked probably Kouyaté, but we chose to let him go. I don't know if that was the reasons of what he said about being homophobic or something along those lines. I can't fully remember, which is why we didn't sign him up. But I thought that we would try and keep people like that, maybe put them on like a 1-year deal again, to just have this, because we are a couple of injuries away from like not finishing as high as we would like to this season.
True. I think the Kouyaté, well, at least from what I heard, HLTCO was saying, apparently he wanted a 2-year deal, but because he's over our age limit these days, I think they're only going to offer him a 1-year rolling contract. He didn't want that, apparently. But yeah, no, that's a good point. Like if we do get injuries in certain places, we are a bit light, I guess is the word. I think it's for me, it's been not a frustrating window, but like, well, I guess frustrating is the word, because I feel like I said this on Twitter earlier. I felt like if we had gotten Flynn Downs, who we were basically set to sign until West Ham turned up,
West Ham
I
don't
feel
even want
like-
him anymore. That's the thing that's
I know.
hilarious to me.
That's the worst part. Like, I think we've been not complacent in this window, but like I feel like we've been dithering too much. Like we should have just got the Flynn Downs done, sorted. I also think we should have gone for Joe Aribo as well. I don't know whether we were actually ever in for him, but I think we should have gone for him as well. You know, and even like right back, like for example, like that Brentford right back, they signed him relatively recently. He was playing in Italy last year or something like that. You know,
yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's it. Like that's what I mean. Like there's a lot of players out there, but like it seems like this window, for whatever reason, we've dithered too much. Like it's not just like got it done. Not like I said, like last season, like Elise, for example, came out of nowhere. But like I felt like in this window there's been a lot of dithering and stuff like that. I know like the Czechoslovakia thing carried on, but that wasn't really their fault, to be fair. But yeah, I just felt like there's a lot of like tit-arsing around, to be honest.
Yeah, I think one of the main frustrations for me personally is probably that the last couple of years we haven't used up our loans. We've only used one, and at some points we haven't used any of them. Like so far this window, we haven't used any of our loans.
Yeah,
and also I've just seen that Forest have just picked up Serge Aurier for free, and that should be someone that maybe we should have been looking at as maybe like a cover for Klein.
well, this is it, isn't it? It's like when you got like the free agents and stuff like that. Like I saw on Twitter, one guy. He got. I mean, I feel like I don't know if you've discussed this already, but like for example, like someone like Ross Barkley is a free agent. Obviously, like you know, if he's asking for a lot of money, then obviously you know maybe not. But for a seat to give him like a maybe a year's contract, is that necessarily a bad thing? I don't know.
Squad depth, isn't it?
Well, exactly. That's the thing, and I think that's the problem. Like you say, if we get like we found it with Mitchell already, he's been injured. Where CPFC Insights did a really good like graphic on Twitter, and they got all the players in each position that we've got, and like we're so light in some places. Like up front, we've got Mateta and Edouard. I know Zaha can also play there and stuff. But then like left wing, for example. Okay, I know again Edouard can play there, but when Zaha gets injured, who would play there? Because all the other wingers we got are right wingers. So you know, and even in like the midfield, like you say, what if Schlupp, Doucouré, or someone like gets injured, then we're playing Luca, and it's like, well, we already knew he was past it about 3 years ago.
Yeah, and also with someone like Schlupp lacks an injury once a season, and he's always out for about a month as well. So
yeah,
that month is going to be very tricky for us, especially with the cup competitions that we would like to go for, as well as trying to do well in the league. It's just going to be a bit too many games. And also with the World Cup year, with some of our players going out there, it's going to be very difficult in the Christmas time to get all those fixtures in and not pick up injuries.
Well, exactly. And I think there's going to be a theme of this season, generally not with Palace, but like generally in the Premier League. I think a lot of teams are going to see a lot more injuries this year because I think there's a lot more midweek games this year than the normal.
And
I mean,
AFCON's on again, isn't it?
Is AFCON on again?
I think it is. I think AFCON's back again in February.
Wow, that's
no, I don't think so because that would be way too intense a schedule.
I swear it is.
No, it isn't.
I'll double check it though.
It couldn't be because it was on at the start of this year.
AFCON 23.
No, it is. It is. Oh no. I think they moved it to 2024.
Scheduled.
Oh, it was confirmed that the competition would be postponed from July 2023 to 2024. Only due to weather concerns, though. Not even because of that. Like apparently, it's because of weather concerns at that time of year.
Yeah. So it's already crazy, but it could have been even worse. But Luke, what do you think about? Do you think we should try and use up our loans if we can just try and scrap around for any loan possible right now, or are you happy with closing the window and being happy with what we've done?
I mean, who's out there? I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, we could have got Gallagher back on loan, but that's about it. But who else is actually out there?
And I know all you got to do is just look at the Chelsea academy and think that there's a couple of players in there you'd probably have. I think James Garner is probably one that we let go through our fingertips as well. Because did he complete his move to Everton?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, but JC, the thing is, some people are moving as if, because we haven't signed an abundance of players, we're banging trouble. Like I've literally just seen people say, we're banging trouble because we haven't signed 600 players.
Yeah.
Do people not remember that we went mad on the summer deadline day when we first got promoted and signed like 15 players or something like that? It was beyond crazy. So I get it. People want to see signings. People want to have a little bit of a brag on Twitter about, we got this guy, But this is a perfect example of how we use our squad. And if need be, use some of the youngsters, if any of them can step up to the plate. Are they all good enough? Probably not. But we spent £20 million on a brand new academy facility. Surely there's got to be a couple of players we can use from there for squad depth to cover when we've got players at the World Cup and players out injured and what have you. We didn't spend that money just to have a pretty new academy to show off on a Channel 4 documentary, for God's sake.
I have to say, to be fair, there are a couple of players who I think probably could cut it. Well, I don't mean like, I don't think they could start. Maybe like towards the end of a game, I wouldn't mind seeing them. But I like the look at Killian Phillips, to be honest. When I saw him in pre-season, I thought, again, I don't think he'd be starting or anything, but I don't think he's a particularly bad shout, for example. But then also we have some players who like look at Teo, for example. He's back with us now, isn't he?
Not confirmed, but
he's not. He's not. Okay.
But everyone is saying, or everyone that's like a Coventry in the know is saying that he's making his way back to Palace as we speak.
Mm-hmm. That's a shame. But like again,
Not
like
really.
Teo, I mean, like Teo, I thought when he played, I thought he was actually like all right. I thought he played all right. Don't get me wrong. Again, he wouldn't be off starting like left back or anything. But I always thought like he was a decent option if the worst came to the worst. Do you know what I mean? And then he's been sent back from Coventry, so.
Yeah, the only positive about this window is there's another positive. We kept Wilf, so
yeah,
that's really good. And
it's massive.
We've got hope now that he signs a new deal, or there's something going on behind the background that he is signing a new contract with us.
I wouldn't begrudge him a move to leave on a free, because as long as United don't get money for him, I don't care if he leaves on a free. Because we owe him nothing. He deserves to play European football if he can secure it. So I wouldn't begrudge him a move. Obviously, I want to keep it. I want to see him stay, but I don't want to hold on to too much sentiment and be like, Wilf, don't go. We're screwed without you. Let him go Europe if he wants to leave at the end of the season. I wouldn't begrudge him it. But what annoys me is I get people are frustrated that we're not active on deadline day, but isn't that a good thing? Because if we're scrambling to sign players just for the sake of, look, we spent X amount on Antoine Semenyo, we spent X amount on Ismail Assar. That's great that we spent all this money. But then you're thinking, well, hang on a minute, who did they come in to replace in the team? Yeah, people would say, definitely Sarr gets in ahead of Ayew. Okay, but is Sarr going to hit the ground running, or is he going to take a bit of time to warm up to playing for Palace? Signing a player doesn't mean they're going to be amazing, and all of a sudden it's money well spent. Bear in mind, Mateta. Do you know what I mean? Bar his goal away at Brighton when he came on loan, he didn't do anything until Vieira came, and then he gave him a stronger bite at the cherry, and we made the loan move permanent. But JC, you're right. Could we have got a couple of loans in? Maybe, but we got stung with loans the last couple of years. We fell in love with Loftus-Cheek. We got burnt. Fell in love with Gallagher. We got burnt. So I'm happy that we're not loaning players, because all it means is we have them for a year. We absolutely love seeing them play for us. They do really well. They go back to their parent club. They forget all about us, which is natural. They don't play for us on a permanent deal, so that's totally fine. But some people are moving as if, we need to sign X amount of players. This ain't FIFA, mate. Like, we have a squad for a reason. Yes, it's not beefed up to the max the way some teams are. But look, we're Crystal Palace, not Manchester City, for crying out loud. Do people realise that we've done fairly well with limited resources under Roy Hodgson? where we had to play Checo Kuyate as a centre back. Check the levels, people. We played Kuyate as a centre back, and people are telling us, "Oh, we need to sign 1,500 players, or we're getting relegated." Man, don't set me off, man. I'm gonna go on the mad one.
All right. Well, let's go into the few comments. The UK Pat says we need an attacking midfielder. Jay says we've just had a £12 million bid accepted for Semenyo.
Okay, nice.
Edward's not happening. I've seen that we've offered the exact same as Chelsea, so I'm guessing it's just up to him at this point. And we never played Teo Man when Mitchell was injured, when he is not on loan. I think Teo's probably too young for the Premier League still. I still think he should be on loan. I think probably League One is probably where he should have been advised to go to, because loans is just going and getting confidence and match experience. He shouldn't be trying to go to a championship club as your first loan, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. But at the same time, some people would swear to God that Teo is the be-all and end-all. And I'm saying, if Coventry fans are saying he's not good enough, they're saying it for a reason.
Yeah.
They've been watching him closely when he's played. And the fact that he couldn't get into he was playing in their 21s, I was thinking, well, wait a minute. Has the fan base's hype on this kid kind of stunted him a bit? Because remember, a lot of people, me included, I'm not even going to front, got very excited when he played against Hartlepool, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Right? Because it was
Stoke. He played with us at Stoke.
Yeah, sorry, it was Stoke. I swear he came on against Hartlepool, though, didn't he?
I can't remember. But I know it was Stoke because he got taken off. Gyro came on and then...
Yeah. And Gyro scored. Yeah, I know. But look, I get people want to see us signing players and what have you. That's totally fine. But who's out there? Like, who's out there that we could realistically get that we're not spending over the odds for? Because, like, Sacco was a panic loan that only just about worked out, and then we paid a serious amount of money for him that summer following. So I'm not on this. Let's just sign players for the sake of it. It just annoys me because it's wasting money that we could be using for January. Where, let's be real, there's talk of us getting a player. I think he's playing in France. There's a better chance of signing him. Germany. Sorry.
Sal.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, Sal. He's a good player. I mean, 25, plays for Frankfurt. I mean, he's a box-to-box. I think he might suit our system. I'm not too sure, but he's a good player. He plays for the Swiss international team. Chelsea just signed another player. I think they're about to sign a Swiss international as well from... isn't it Juventus? Sakaria? I think they both play in the Swiss international team, and Sakaria. So I've seen a few things about him. I would say, let's see what happens in January. That's all I can say. But yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm just looking around at certain stuff, and I'm just here and listening to Sky Sports as well, which is just a load of bollocks in my ear, if I'm honest. But apparently, that Bamba Dieng, who we were linked with, apparently he's failed his medical at Nice.
Oh my word!
Oh,
so we probably dodged a bullet there because apparently he had knee problems, didn't they?
Something along those lines, yeah.
So we probably pulled, and he's only 21, 22. So I think you got them kind of knee problems already, then it's a bit unfortunate for him. Yeah. Another one which we was very briefly linked with earlier this morning was Ainsley Maitland Niles. He's just signed for Southampton on loan for the season. Is that one that we probably should have gone for a lot earlier in the window, or would he have been a bit of just a guy to fill up the numbers in our squad right now?
I think the latter, to be honest. Not like he is a good player, but I mean, because he's quite versatile, isn't he? Like he can play left, he can play in midfield. I mean, he probably would have started in midfield over Schlupp, perhaps. I don't know, but also I think it would have been nice to have gone for someone like that because then Mitchell's now injured and Maitland can play left back.
100%. I think one thing that we can do is we can rate other teams' transfer windows out of 10. So I'll show them up now. And I've already done Bournemouth. I think I said it would be a 5 because Scott Parker called them out on what they did and how they did. He wasn't backed enough. We'll go. I'll just go around the panel. So Nate, what would you rate Arsenal's window out of 10?
Well, considering that they haven't done what Arsenal do best at the start of every season and kind of make a lot of F-ups in terms of dropping points and silly mistakes. Obviously, they brought back Saliba off his loan spell. That kid looks like an absolute sensation at the back. Naturally, they've signed Zinchenko and Jesus from City, where, of course, they're going to be a massive upgrade on the likes of Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Nuno Tavares. Obviously, Arsenal still waiting on Kieran Tierney to come back to full fitness. They've signed that imitation Vieira, because we already know there's only one Vieira, mate. There's this Portuguese brother's just a fraud. But no, obviously, he's a young, talented kid, and he could do well for them. You got to give it to Arsenal. They've done some sensible business. Obviously, some Arsenal fans were getting a bit too wet in the pants talking about how Zaha signing for Arsenal. I could have sworn we didn't go back to 2018. Did we jump back in the TARDIS or something? Right. This ain't 2018 again, is it? No? All right, cool. B, had they maybe got a couple of other players, you'd argue that they could be actually considered title contenders because right now they've won 5 from 5. But let's be fair, winning 5 from 5 in August and now early September, yeah, it looks good on paper, but still a long way to go. But yeah, I'll give Arsenal a B.
Luke, what would you rate Villa?
Who have they signed? They've signed
Coutinho, Kamara, Diego Carlos, Olsen, Rory Wilson. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. Donny from Sevilla and Dendonka.
They've strengthened in positions that they need to. I feel like they are probably a wide player and a striker short. I like the look of Kamara. I think he's a good player. And Coutinho is a good player as well. I'm going to give it... Let's give it a 6 out of 10.
Fair enough. Dan, Brentford.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know a huge amount of those. I only know a few of those players. I would say a B as well, because the thing is with Brentford is that I don't know a lot of those players, but I know they do their homework, so they're probably gonna be good. Like I know Damsgaard's meant to be a good player. Aaron Hickey, I thought was brilliant on Tuesday.
Yeah, and then they've got some Premier League experience in Ben Mee as well.
Yeah, exactly. Ben Mee as well. Like they're good at corners. I think he'll only add to that prowess for them. I think they've done it in the right. I think they've certainly done it in the right way. I think they'd be a bit gutted not to keep Christian Eriksen, but I mean overall, I think that's a good window for them.
Yeah. Brighton. Well,
D.
Well, yeah, I think speaking as a Brighton fan at one of the places I work, and he's telling me how good these players are. I don't know any of them. I think the only one that I'm really noticing here is Levi Colwell that they've got on loan. But from speaking to him, he's saying that these guys are already performing pretty well, so you probably got to give these guys a B as well, because Graham Potter, I don't think he's bought particularly badly the whole time he's been at Brighton.
They like to say that though, don't they? They all like to say, "Oh yeah, my player's really good," and then they turn out to Jahanbaksh.
Or they find you, or you get Rakip, and it's like, yo, did we get this brother from IKEA Croydon or something?
Or the one in Pearly Way.
That's what I mean. IKEA Croydon.
Rakip's the name of a shelf, isn't it?
Could be.
I've got no clue.
Could be.
It may, if it's IKEA, it could be anything. It could be a shelf. It could be.
Jesper, if you're watching, is Rakip Swedish for shelf? Just let us know, mate.
Nate, Chelsea.
Chelsea signed Sterling, so you got to give them credit. They've got a good player there. I think they've signed Aubameyang as well, I believe.
Yep. They've got Sterling, Koulibaly, Amari Hutchinson, that Donny from Villa, Cucurella, and Fofana.
Yeah.
Plus those guys who've just signed today.
I mean, see, the thing is, it's easy to grade windows and say they've had a good window, but I think Chelsea are a funny one because they've signed good players on paper. But will that translate to good players in the way Tuchel plays? Because you're seeing Chelsea fans are beginning to get very antsy about Tuchel. Because obviously that Southampton game, a lot of people were shocked that Chelsea had managed to wet the bed a little bit. I wasn't shocked. I knew Chelsea had that in them to do that. I just wish they did that with us in the FA Cup semi-final. Just like, my God. But if I had to grade their window, I'd say A-. Like, yeah, they've made some big name signings. They brought in the guy Caleb from Villa for a pretty hefty fee, I believe. Not much else to say, really, with Chelsea. Is what it is. And just great that Abramovich isn't there buying them every bloody player in sight. Because I remember they bought Michael Hector to stop us getting him, and I'm like, you know what? That's a bullet dodged. Thanks, Chelsea.
Right, so what rating would you give them?
I already said A-.
Okay. Luke, Crystal Palace, what would you give us?
I'll give us a B.
Okay. Dan, Everton.
I don't think that I'm going to say. The thing is, I want to say a C, but I feel like that's a bit too harsh. So maybe I'll go B- or something like that. Because the reason why I'm saying this is that I feel like they bought players. They haven't really learned from their mistakes, is what I'm trying to say. They bought old players like Tarkovsky. Well, I say old. They're not old, but like they're not going to have any resale value. Like Tarkovsky, Cody, Idris. I don't know. I can't remember how Idris Gueye is, but he's got to be almost touching 30. Like now they've got them on, I presume 5-year contracts. They're not gonna. They've got no resale value, if you know what I mean. And I also am not 100% sure if they are necessarily the kind of players that are necessarily going to improve them. I mean, they've done well so far, but I mean, I watched them in the second game of the season; they were terrible. But having said that, Onana is a good player. McNeil, I always thought was a good player, but Burnley fans seem to really dislike him. Even before he left, and Neil Mopai, well, you know, if he scores enough times to shush the family stand, then we'll see, won't we?
You think he'll still do that if he scores against us again?
I don't think he'll score. So you know, I don't think he will. The thing is, at Brighton, they made a lot of chances for him, and he didn't really score them. Whereas at Everton, they don't make chances, so
he's got no chance.
Got no chance.
Unless it's a lucky goal, fluke goal, deflection,
average goal.
Isn't it? Average goal. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, that interview, I say it every time, is going in the history books of all-time worst post-match. But big up Brush and big up Sean for tuning in. I've got Fulham myself. I think that Yao Paulini is a hell of a signing. Andreas Pereira. And Babu's a good signing. I think Leno is a very good signing for how cheap they got him for. Duffy, solid centre-back. Issa Diop, very good centre-back. Kazawa, good full-back. And Willian as well. I think that's just him. He's just securing the bag, isn't he? That's all he's doing. He's getting that Premier League money.
Went back to Brazil for a time and now he's come back for some more money.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder which Willian Fulham have signed. Chelsea's Willian or Arsenal's Willian?
Well, in the release pictures, I haven't seen him with a big belly, so it's looking more like Chelsea so far. But I think Fulham they've recruited well, they've strengthened well. I think I'll give them the same as Nate gave Chelsea. I'll give them an A-. They strengthened where they needed to, and they kept all the players they needed to as well. Looking decent so far. Can't complain, really, if you're a Fulham fan. Nate, I'll give you Leeds.
You know what? I'm not going to lie. I don't really know who Leeds have signed because I've just not paid attention to the transfer window. I've said I just want it over and done with. Obviously, they've sold Calvin Phillips. They've sold Rafinha. I know that much. So you'd argue that they did well to cash in on them because, let's be real, if you let players stagnate or you don't cash in when the iron's hot, you can often find that their quality goes down. They don't really play as well as they used to. But who have they signed, JC? Just run me through who they've signed, please.
They've signed Aronson, Christensen, Roca, Giabi, Tyler Adams, Sinstera, Perkins, and Robels. I've not heard of any of them, if I'm going to be really honest with you.
Okay, so Tyler Adams, Sinstera I knew about because Tyler Adams is an American international. So I was aware of him, but I'm not going to lie, it's actually pretty solid business from Leeds, as much as I hate to admit it, because I don't like Leeds at all. But yeah, I'll give him a B. Not too terrible.
Sweet. Luke, you got a very easy one. I'll give you Leicester.
They've done really bad. But you can understand
what you know what? That's the quote of the night. They've done really bad.
But that's understandable why they've done bad. It's because they don't have any money. I don't know if that's the owners or what have you. It's just C-, D.
You got to give them an F, no?
F?
F. You, unclassified.
They're ungradable.
Right.
Before we move on, we've got Sean. Sean, how you doing?
Big up, Sean.
What's up? What's up, mate?
What's up, Sean? Palace fan. What was your thoughts on our window so far, and do we need to do more business?
As usual, it's shit. We all know that. we only managed to pull up one signing, and that's Chet Corey. I'm telling you.
No, we've made more than one signing, Sean.
Come on, man. It's just one signing. The others are free compared to Chet Corey.
No, Chris Richards was 10 million. That's not free.
Yeah. Eboué, you're telling me that's not a good player? John Stone, you're telling me that's not a good player?
Eboué.
I did. We didn't.
Listen,
Good.
I'm not
confused. I thought you said we signed Emmanuel Eboué. I was like, when did I miss that one?
Listen, yeah. As I said when I was talking about these the last episode of Transfer Weekly, I'm just calling this guy Malcolm, yeah, because I can't anymore. I really can't. But yeah, sure. What's your thoughts on the window apart from the obvious? Do we need to do more business? Should we try and get
Yeah.
whoever we can?
If we get that kid named Awar, we can do really good this season. I think he's a gem. I think he's really good. He can play any across the back three. I mean, in what back three? In the middle. He can play box to box, and he can play as a cam as well, just like Eze. So I would have loved to have that signing.
I think this late in the window, that's impossible for the pure fact of the work permit and that they sold one of their other midfielders to West Ham.
That's the messed up thing about it. You could have used you could have used that guy. You have Champions League experience. You can pass on his knowledge.
Dan, Liverpool.
I'm going to be a bit harsh on Liverpool here. I'm going to give them a C. Because I think, and the only reason I'm giving them a C is because of where they should be, if that makes, like where their ambition should be. Like, look at, like, they've been running City close for the last few years. And City have strengthened in the places that they needed to strengthen. Pep knows that to keep a winning team, you need to be buying players every single season. Liverpool haven't really done that this season. And I don't think Nunez is going to be... I'm not going to say he's going to be terrible, but I don't think he's going to score the goals that they necessarily would want from
Do you think there's a level of expectation on Nunez that just won't be fulfilled?
Oh, 100%. Like, I think even if they bought him for like 30 mil, I don't think he would necessarily have scored the goals that they'll have wanted him to. And to be bought for like upwards of 70 million, I think he was always against the tide there. I don't think he was ever going to reach those heights, to be honest.
100%.
Especially when they're inevitably going to be compared to Man City, and then they sign Haaland for like less than that.
Yeah. 9 goals in 5 games in the Premier League.
2 hat-tricks already. Like,
Has that ever happened before, where a player scored 3 hat-tricks in 3 consecutive games? Because he's on for that right now.
Who have they got on Saturday?
I think they've got Villa.
Oh, that could happen.
Oh, mate. That could happen.
Yeah, they've got Villa, and then they've got Tottenham, Wolves, and then they've got Man United on the 1st of October. Although that'll be changed for broadcast, so that's definitely going to be on a Sunday or something.
But talking about Haaland, Man City in next, and I think you've got to give them an A, in my opinion, because they probably bought the best goal scorer in the world. They've got Marino back from Monaco, I think. He's come back from loan. They got Calvin Phillips to strengthen the midfield. Sergio Gomez. I think that Alvarez as well. He's actually a part of the Man City squad now. And Akanji, just to flesh out the back line. I don't think... Would any of you agree giving Man City an A?
I agree.
City are going to pull away from everyone now. So it's going to be... The Premier League's going to be one hell of a Farmers League, boys. It's no longer... It's no longer that tight now. It's going to be proper Farmers League settings because City are just unstoppable at the moment.
Nate, I'll give you Man United.
I'm not going to lie. They've definitely improved in terms of their recruitment, but I heard a couple of Man United fans that work near me say that United are back, they're winning the league, this and that. And I'm thinking, yo, what did they win tonight?
I don't know, actually, did they?
They won.
United won 1-0.
All right, so 3 wins out of 5 games. Fair play that they're starting to turn it around. But I'm looking
Leicester
at
poor.
No, Leicester are dog muck, but like These United fans are moving mad, saying, "Oh, but you only drew at Liverpool and you only drew at Brentford." I went, "True, we drew with Liverpool, but we didn't lose to Brentford. Who got put in? The rest by them? United attack, is it? Okay. Their business, on the other hand, to get back on topic, JC, and I do apologize. If I go anything under a B, I'm lying to myself because Anthony could be a very good signing. I don't watch the Dutch league, so I can't really comment on how good Ajax are. Obviously, they've got a very famous academy, but I don't really watch Dutch football, so I'm not the person to ask. How good is he? What was he like at Ajax? Lisandro Martinez. Obviously, there's rave reviews about him among the Man United fan base at the moment, even though he looks like Bilbo Baggins' long-lost cousin. # The Hobbit.
Rey Mysterio at centre back.
In it, Rey Mysterio centre back. Trust me.
They bought 2 players from Ajax. They bought Rey Mysterio and a fidget spinner.
Oh, mate, stop. Yeah, I'll give United a B because, let's be real. United should not be needing to be in this mess that they are in. So, it's just important now that either they actually deliver on it or Ten Hag's getting the old tic-tac.
Bournemouth fans, says Jack Stevens joins Bournemouth. Is that a signing that you guys wanted? How would he improve your team? Put in the comments.
By the way, JC, there is no player in the Premier League history to have scored 3 hat-tricks in a row.
Well, Haaland could be making history against Villa, so...
And apparently the world record is that there was some Croatian dude in the Croatian league some years ago who scored 20 goals in 5 games, and apparently that's like the world record.
that's even like Pele.
Yeah.
in his pre-season friendlies and all this and that.
What Pele said. Yeah, what Pele said.
But I think that, in that case, it will 100% be a Premier League record. I think there's no doubt about that for Haaland. Luke, Newcastle.
I like the signing of Isaac. I think he's going to be a top signing for them. Botman's a good centre back. And they've got a good goalkeeper, Nick Pope, who's Premier League experience.
They've also signed Matt Target on a permanent as well.
I'll give him a B.
Fair enough. Dan, I wish I planned this, but you've got the pitch invasion, as I would like to call their recruitment. Nottingham Forest, what have they done? Have they done too much?
I don't. Yeah, they have. I mean, they started off well, I thought, signing like Lewis O'Brien, Harry Toffolo. I thought they were good players for Huddersfield last season. And then they just went on a mad one. They were just like, I don't know, they're like a crackhead. Still, do you know what I mean? Looking for their next hit. We need, I don't know, it's just too much. I remember when it wasn't to this extent, but I remember Fulham did it about 5 years ago or something when they came up, and they spent about 150 million or something like that. Did it work? No, because I think there's a point when you get too many players where if you're going they're just not going to gel together. Do you know what I mean? So, whilst yes, they have made good signings, I think they've made too many signings. To be honest.
100%. Because I'm reading through it now, and I'm seeing some signings. I was thinking at the start of the window when they were making these signings, thinking, "Wow, that's a hell of a deal." For example, Nakate, that's a hell of a deal. Omar Richards on loan, brilliant business. Wayne Hennessy, are you drunk? Lewis O'Brien, wow. But then you got Jesse Lingard just on pure cash. Kouyaté probably on pure cash. 35 million rising to 45 for Morgan Gibbs-White. You're thinking, that's a lot of money, and you've already got players in that same position. Do you really need to spend that much?
Well, exactly. That's what I mean. It's like, why? Like, just why? It's so unnecessary.
But look at the outs though. There's so many. Release.
I did not know Cole Jenkinson was on their books.
Well, he's not anymore. To be fair.
Yeah, not anymore. But fun fact for you, Cole Jenkinson actually played for Finland under 21s.
This is why we got that man down on the books. Southampton. I would look at Southampton's window and think they've done extremely well in my eyes, because Belkachop, we've been looking at him for a few years, but we're too afraid to muster up the 7.5 million that they wanted for him a couple of years ago. They got this Man City kid, because I've seen he's very good in the youth team. Joe Rebo.
Yeah.
Joe Rebo is a very good player. We were looking at him. And as we spoke about earlier, that Maitland Niles was confirmed today, and a few more here and there. Not really sure about them, but still, I think they've done very solid business. I think that is sort of a window that we should aspire to go for. Well, I'm not saying we're having a bad window, but I'm saying that that's sort of like they've got a vision there, and they're being, what's the word? They're trying to move up with that kind of window. I'll give them a B+. I don't think it's A material because they didn't get that one star player in yet, but it's a good window, very good window. Nate, Spurs.
Oh gosh. I mean, signing Richarlison is good for squad rotation. It puts less pressure on Kane and Son, so that was a smart buy.
Perisic, Forster, Basuma, Richarlison, Lenglet, Spence, and Romero on a permanent.
Yeah. I won't lie. I think Spurs should get a B, because obviously Conte will want to strengthen and put his stamp on this team. There's still remnants of Poch in that Spurs team, so he'll want it to make it look like it's his team and not someone else's. So yeah, I'm going to give Spurs a B.
UK Pat says there's only 5 minutes left, and guess what? There's still nothing for Palace, but that's no surprise to us. We're just getting this done. Luke, West Ham.
I like West Ham's business. I think it's the same as sort of Southampton's a little bit, but obviously West Ham has spent a bit more than Southampton. I like the signing of Paqueta. I think he's a good creative player, and West Ham have been saying for ages they need a creative midfielder. They've got one. Maxwell Cornet, good player. I think he'll score goals. And I like Scamacca. I think he's going to be similar to Haaland, but I think he's going to give him a bit more time. I think Scamacca will score goals.
He scored on his debut.
Yeah, I think he will score goals, Scamacca. I'm going to give them... Yeah, I agree with Noah. I'm going to give him a B+.
Cool. Dan, Wolves.
Well, I'm not going to lie. Before the window, I thought they were going to be in trouble this season. They could still be, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think that Nunez is a good player.
Yeah.
Because Sporting Lisbon seem to have gotten a crop of extremely talented players through their youth academy at roughly the same time. So I think they have done some good business. I don't think then at the same time, they have also gotten rid of a lot of players as well. I'm just going to say a B because I don't know.
And that's it. That's all of the transfers. I think we've only got 2 minutes left. Is there anything you guys all want to touch on during the transfer window?
Roll on the season.
Yeah.
Sort of like a look on to January, because that's probably where middle of the season we'll find what's wrong, we'll find what needs to be replaced or changed.
Yeah,
100%.
Let's go into the comments. On loan, big up the UK part, Gerrard will get sacked. A question to everyone in the panel: who's the next manager to get sacked? Because I don't think anyone was expecting Scott Parker to be the guy who got done first.
Yeah.
Rodgers.
You know what? I think he would. You know what? I think Gerald's probably got the highest odds at the moment.
It's one of Gerard Lampard or Brendan Rodgers. Put it that way.
I can't see Lampard going. You know. I think
Yeah,
they'll give him. I think they'll give him some time.
I don't think they will because they're under mad pressure with FFP and trying to get their house in order. And be real, they only just about stayed up last year, Dan. Remember that.
True.
So I don't want to hit. Bear in mind if that was Vieira as manager of Everton, they'd be saying, "Oh, sack him, sack him, sack him." So Lampard's getting a bit too much protection from the media, as is Gerrard. Admittedly, people are now starting to see that Gerrard's not as good as the Scottish League made him out to be. He's still a good manager, but he's nowhere near as great as some people were trying to play him up to be.
Yeah, I mean Rangers are in the Champions League group stages, I think now, aren't they?
I think so.
Yeah, I think
they got one better.
And that's it. The window has been shut. Yeah, there's no graphic because we knew nothing was going to happen. But we'll see. I'll refresh this and see if we've got anything new. I doubt it. Carlos Vinicius has signed for Fulham from Benfica.
Okay.
James Garner has officially signed for Everton.
That's a good sign. Is that on loan or is that permanent?
Permanent for 15 million.
I'm surprised.
There's probably a buyback clause in that contract somewhere.
True.
Douglas Luiz stays at Villa. They rejected Arsenal's £25 million bid.
He's going to be sold to the bench for a while then.
Arthur Melo has joined Liverpool. Sam Edoze has joined Southampton. And that's it. Nothing else. Well, that's it. The window's done. I think we should wrap it there because there's nothing else to talk about, really. What do you guys think?
Yeah, let's just crack on with the season. Hopefully we get a couple of good results.
Sweet. Luke,
Definitely.
shout yourself out, mate.
I don't want to shout myself out. Just let's go. Let's roll on to the new season.
Dan?
Yeah, I got a new YouTube video coming out on Monday. It's a bit of a slightly different one. It's about expected goals, and I just explain it in a nice bite-sized chunk for hopefully people can understand it a bit better.
Nate?
You know where you can find me? Eagle-Eyed Nate here on Eagle-Eyed Football. Myself and JC and Rich possibly will be doing an Academy review show. I forgot to watch tonight's episode, actually, because I've been so busy doing things. But it is what it is. We look forward to the game on Saturday against Newcastle.
100%. And tomorrow we have the Newcastle preview, and we will finally get Rich doing the One Chip Challenge, and we got a nice little special intro for you guys on that stream. So, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Up the Palace.
Out the Palace.
Eagles.
Eagle.
There you go.
Questions to ask throughout a campaign with the confidence rising. I told JC Nate and Rich that good times are coming, no need for deep diving. Van Cam's reactions, watch along to the pride of London thriving. The Eagles of South stay flying. Keep your eyes on us, we ain't hiding.